Oh, excuse me for interrupting, but while you're having a little chit-chat, do you have any idea what's happening over at the lobby of ELQ?
No. What's happening?
I just had a phone call. The Spencers and a pack of children are demanding to see me to protest that blasted incinerator.
Great.
Now, Katherine, you're on point for PR. You get over there and defuse that situation before it gets completely out of hand.
I better stay here in case there's cameras.
Oh.
We would be happy to wait quietly for Mr. Quartermain, but he should know that it is in his best interest to speak to us, because the alternative here is a picket line outside the building.
Ma'am, I promise you, Mr. Quartermain has been notified, and he's on his way.
Good.
Oh, baby. Well, you ready to march?
Oh, will it come to that?
Hey, we're prepared.
Well, hey, glad you could join us.
Oh, glad to be here. And Tom Jr.'s always looking for an excuse not to go to the sitters.
This is your son?
Yeah.
Tom Jr., this is Justice.
Hi.
How are you? I didn't realize you were married.
Tom Sr.'s in Somalia.
Ah, that's good work. Good work.
We're really proud of him. Excuse me.
Are you going to be disappointed if we don't pick it?
Why in the world would I be disappointed?
I'm up for it. It reminds me of what it must have been like in the 60s during the peace marches.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, doesn't it make you think of them?
Well, we don't have to contend with dogs and hoses, so there must be some improvement.
Well, I wouldn't bet the farm on that with Edward Quartermain involved.
Have some quiet here. Quiet down, you people.
Speak of the devil.
I'm sorry, Mr. Quartermain, there was no other way.
For you to come in here with your confrontational attitude and your signs and your rowdy band, you used to be an employee at ELQ. Lila and I consider you friends. Why is it necessary to embarrass yourself with this unnecessary display?
Tried a rational conversation, Mr. Quartermain. That didn't work.
You didn't try hard enough.
I don't think you listened hard enough. If you'd like to avoid a confrontation in the form of a picket line and a lot of adverse TV coverage, then I suggest that you listen to us. Because the people of the Charles Street District have legitimate complaints about a toxic waste incinerator being put in their backyard.
Right. Yeah.
All we are asking for today is that you hear our side.
Well, I must admit that I am impressed with your ability to round up such a crowd.
Thank you, sir. Now, please, can we talk about this?
Perhaps if you went to your home and put your objections in writing.
No, we want this aired now before it gets too late to stop.
Not going to stop it because the wheels are already in motion.
Then so are we.
Don't you dare! Laura, this project is good for the community. Do you think that we would proceed with it if we weren't convinced of that?
I think that you've convinced yourself of it. These people clearly don't think that it is good for them, and these people are the community.
That's right! Oh, a ragtag bunch of kids and some rabble-rousers that hardly represents the community.
To whom are you referring when you use the term rabble-rousers? My husband and me?
Well, you have a reputation, and I see that you've even involved the wards.
We involved ourselves, Mr. Quartermain.
Oh, I should have guessed.
Oh, why is that? Like father, like son?
Yeah. Now, I'm telling you, I will not tolerate terrorism. Now, either you clear out of this lobby, or I will have it cleared. Guards!
Okay, round them up, round them up. Please, why don't you let me talk to them? Come on. It's going to make a bad situation worse.
What do you propose?
The group has every right to be demonstrating outside this building, but that is not what we need.
Why don't you tell me something that I don't know?
I think that I can reason with them. Let me try to get them to disperse.
Well, you better be quick about it because the damn news media is arriving.
Did I miss anything yet? Hi, Catherine Ashton, Public Relations. Laura Spencer, the public. We'd really like to talk about some of these issues at hand.
Let's hold it a second. Can we get this on tape, please? Okay? Are you rolling? Okay, hit it.
ELQ certainly welcomes the input of the people of Port Charles. I just wonder if there isn't a more appropriate forum for our discussion. Like where? Somewhere we could discuss it rationally and reasonably. And behind closed doors? Perhaps Miss Hill could arrange for you or your spokesman to present the other side in a editorial some night after the evening news. Oh, right. Oh, I'm sure you'd love to have our response limited to a 90-second blurb after most people have gone to sleep. No, I'm sorry. That's not good enough. I saw your press conference. I know that you're working very hard to sneak this through very quietly, very low-key, so that the people of Port Charles don't know what's going on until it's too late.
Yeah, but we do.
That is not our intention. Of course it is, because you know that you're going to meet with serious objections about this. And it's going to come from all over the place. Why? Because putting a toxic waste incinerator in a residential neighborhood is a horrible idea, no matter how hard you try to sugarcoat. Right. I am not trying to sugarcoat anything. Perhaps you haven't thought of the jobs that this project will provide. Yes, I have. I've also thought about the profits to your company. There is a much brighter upside to this than downside. But the downside is what we really need to discuss. Come upstairs right now and we will. Could you just answer one thing for me, if you can, please? How will the emissions be monitored? And what assurances, if any, can you give the people of Port Charles that public safety and not private profit will guide your decisions about how to run this plant? Right. Will there be a system of accountability put into place?
There you go. That's right.
I can't answer all those at once. Right. Okay, then just answer one, please. Reassure me and all the other mothers standing here that the federal guidelines for safety will be upheld.
That's right.
Yeah. They will be. Why? Why? Because you say so? Please.
Yeah, well, I guess we go on now.
Mr. Spencer, your people don't need to worry. My people? Oh, dear. These people are the citizens of Port Charles, Mrs. Ashton. We all live here.
That's right. We live here.
Only some people live a little bit better than others. Answer this for me, please. How is it that this neighborhood, a neighborhood of homes and schools and playgrounds, was ever conceived of as an appropriate site for this project, other than the fact that the real estate is cheap because the people who live there are poor? That's right. Yeah. It's not the only reason. Really? Then perhaps Mr. Quartermain would like to choose an alternative site. Perhaps somewhere on Harbor View Road, right next to the Quartermain Mansion.
Right.
I would like to take this opportunity to personally invite the citizens of Port Charles for an open forum on the incinerator project discussion, sometime prior to the consideration by City Council. At that time, we will address all of Mrs. Spencer's questions, and maybe even some that she hasn't even thought of. We'll address them and answer them. And on behalf of ELQ, I would personally like to thank Mrs. Spencer for raising these issues that are the deepest mutual concern.
Oh, yeah.
And I would like to personally invite you to the Port Charles Grill, where we can start a preliminary dialogue. Thank you, but I'll pass. I will wait for the open forum. Fine. Mr. Quartermain and myself have a meeting to get to, so if you'll excuse us, we'll speak to you again soon.
Stop here. Stop
And Mrs. Ashton have now left and leave it in their wake a concerned and frustrated group of community activists. Please tune in tonight for a further update on this recent development.